I Love You Again is a 1941 American comedy starring Myrna Loy, William Powell, directed by W.S. Van Dyke, who apparently all three of these professionals were prominently involved in the Thin Man series, which is probably what William Powell and Myrna Loy are best known for. I have yet to get to those movies, so I'm working my way through all of the non-Thin Man movies, apparently, of well, not all, but a good hunk of the Powell and Loy movies from that were outside of this. This has got a very what you would call a kooky plot. It opens with William Powell being this really super stuffy member of the Chamber of Commerce, complete bore on a cruise ship, where he gets knocked on the head after he's accidentally kind of goes overboard trying to help out a drunken, turns out to be con man. Con man. He gets clubbed. He gets clubbed with an oar. And when he wakes up, he's like, "Where am I?" And it turns out that 9 years ago he'd gotten clubbed then, gotten knocked on the head then, and got complete amnesia, and had ended up had been a kind of a roguish con man, but he turned when he got clubbed on the head, amnesia, forgot about his entire past life. He became this bore, this very boring man. And it's like, oh, it turns out that this guy's got access to a ton of money. Holy cow. And with this new con man guy here, they team up to go and they're going to go back to his podunk hometown, and they're going to get all the money and and take off. Now, when they arrive at the ship, at the thing, who do they find there? But, oh, beautiful woman, waving at them. Myrna Loy and Myrna Loy. And what does it turn out? This is his wife. And he's like, holy cow, I've really hit the jackpot. But it turns out the wife is in the process of divorcing him because he is so goddamn boring. We then get a whole bunch of comedic scenes of him trying to kind of bluff his way through his old life. There's a part with him as a Cub Scout leader where he's running around the forest and getting caught in traps and all sorts of stuff like that, which is funny. Another con man they call in, Duke. They set up a thing because he's got this land, this marshland here, which is like, oh, how can we get some money out? Duke plants an oil tank in the spring or lake under it, and it's bubbling up oil. And so suddenly all of the guys who were around him, the bank president and various other businessmen, are like, oh, we'll take that land off of you, and try and kind of swindle him. Powell and his associates are taking advantage of the greed of these guys. So we get all that, but at the heart of it is Powell and Myrna Loy. Myrna Loy, who is her character, seems to have has moved on. She's Kay Wilson, and he is his assumed identity that he didn't know he was assuming is Larry Wilson. Kay has moved on and found another guy, but it's like William Powell turns on his charm, and they kind of make they make a beautiful, as always, they make a beautiful couple. There's a really touching scene of where he's like, well, why did you marry me? And she's like, I thought I saw something in you. I thought I saw that underneath all that kind of boring, bluff, boorish, kind of super cheap, super kind of just ungenerous person. I thought I saw someone who was actually good and kind, and was going to be exciting, and that I just needed to find that. And it's been, I don't know how long, 7 years that they were married, and she had given up, and then now suddenly he came off that boat a changed man. So it is a cream puff, a poof of a movie, but they really do it well together. Oh God, Myrna Loy. There's one scene where she comes upon Doc, who is the con man he met on the ship, and catches him blurting some indiscreet information. And she's just sitting over the thing, and she kind of goes like this and gets him to come over which is just like, holy crap, she is the sexiest, smartest, just most kind of like, oh, beautiful presence in a movie. I can see why a lot of people fell in love with Myrna Loy. And just her being so just strong and confident is just like, wow, it's the greatest aphrodisiac. And yeah, yeah. So and and again, yet again, these movies, they just click along at a thing, and then once we get to the end, bang, we are done yet again. Gorgeous, gorgeous movie. So let's as for cinematography and stuff like that, it's pretty straightforward cinematography. It's nothing like the beautiful black and whites of this are not like, they aren't beautiful black and whites. They're pretty much bog standard kind of comedy lighting, I think, is what you would call it. Very, very competently done. You know, I at this point in 1941, you don't really think too much about, I think, the music in it. Not something like Penny Serenade where the music was a part of the thing. There's a lot of really good, yeah, supporting. There's a lot of good supporting actors in the thing. Frank McHugh as Doc Ryan is really good as kind of as that kind of a sidekick character. Edmund Lowe as Duke is suitably threatening, but not overwhelmingly so. Yeah, yeah, it's apparently it has a little cameo by Carl Alfalfa Switzer as Leonard Hartsburg Jr. and Alfalfa as in Alfalfa from Our Gang fame, and he plays one of the Cub Scouts who's like tasked to try and find William Powell, as he's got these little hoof print things on his feet, and he's supposed to be, as the Cub Scout leader, you're supposed to try and find him. And that's all reasonably amusing. It's just kind of one of those little interesting things where you see people in a movie and like, I recognize you. Oh, that's where I recognize you. All right. That's my thoughts, my blah blah blahing about I Love You Again. Uh, I've been Jay. More videos later.